Hello and welcome to another episode of today's GK. Let's begin with the practice question of the last segment. Consider the following statements. Mahavir was born in the Vajji kingdom. The teachings of Mahavir were called Jain Agamas. So, as we have to select the correct statement or statements, both are correct. C is the correct answer. The President of India has greeted the people on the eve of Mahavir Jayanti. He was born to King Siddharth of Kundagram and Queen Trishula, a Lichavi princess in the Vajji kingdom. Mahavir belonged to the Ikshvaku dynasty. Lord Mahavir was named Vardhaman, which means one who grows. Mahavir taught ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya and aparigrah to his disciples, and his teachings were called Jain Agamas. Ordinary people were able to understand the teachings of Mahavir and his followers because they used Prakrit. Sea of Galilee, recently seen in the news, is located in which of the following countries? The correct answer is Israel. Israel plans to pump excess output from its desalination plant to the Sea of Galilee, depleted by overuse and threatened by climate change. Israel is a leader in making seawater drinkable. Irregular rainfall, rising temperatures, and intensive pumping have overtaxed the world's lowest freshwater lake. The environmentalists note that the more Israel relies on fossil fuels to power its desalination plants, the more its carbon emissions will worsen climate change. Consider the following statements. The differential heating and cooling of land and sea creates favorable condition for southwest monsoon in India. The strong vertical air current and formation of low pressure on the Tibetan plateau enhance the northeast monsoon in India. So as we have to select the correct statement or statements, only the first is correct. A is the correct answer. The Indian Meteorological Department forecasted a normal southwest monsoon for this year as well. The climate of India is described as the monsoon type. In Asia, this type of climate is found mainly in the South and Southeast Asia. The differential heating and cooling of land and water creates a low pressure on the landmass of India, while the seas around experience comparatively high pressure. The Tibetan plateau gets intensely heated during summer. This results in strong vertical air currents and formation of low pressure over the plateau at about 9 km above sea level. The northeast monsoon occurs during October to December. It is a comparatively small-scale monsoon which is confined to the southern peninsula, called the winter monsoon. Good Friday is celebrated to commemorate the day when Jesus Christ was crucified. D is the correct answer here. The Prime Minister has said that ideals of service and brotherhood of Jesus Christ are the guiding light for several people. The Prime Minister tweeted on the occasion of Good Friday, traditionally commemorated as the day when Jesus Christ was crucified. Good Friday stands for the redemption of people through his death. It is believed that when he was mocked, whipped, and brutally killed, he, the Son of God, who was sinless, died for the sins of the people until he was raised from the dead 3 days later. If it wasn't for his suffering on the cross, it is believed that it would not have saved the Christians. Consider the following statements regarding color blindness. Color blindness is the same as color deficiency. Men suffer from a higher incidence of color blindness than women. As we have to select the correct statement or statements, both are correct. C is the correct answer. The Supreme Court has directed the Film and Television Institute of India not to exclude candidates suffering from color blindness. The SC asked it to make changes to its curriculum instead. Color blindness is the inability to see colors in the normal way, also known as color deficiency, and men suffer from a higher incidence of color blindness than women. Around the world, every 10th male is estimated to have some form of color deficiency, and men of Northern European descent are considered to be specially vulnerable. Consider the following statements regarding mitochondria. The mitochondria produce cellular energy in the form of adenosine triphosphate. Mitochondrial DNA is inherited from the father, while nuclear DNA is inherited from both parents. As we have to select the correct answer, only the first is correct. A is the correct answer here. The mitochondria are organelles found in cells that are sites of energy production. They produce cellular energy in the form of adenosine triphosphate, hence they are called powerhouses of the cell. The mitochondria divide by fission. Mitochondrial DNA is a small circular chromosome found inside mitochondria. Mitochondrial DNA is different in a way from the DNA, Deoxyribonucleic Acid, that's in the nucleus. The mitochondrial genome is not enveloped and it is not packaged into chromatin. Mitochondrial DNA, unlike nuclear DNA, is inherited from the mother, while nuclear DNA is inherited from both the parents. Who amongst the following led the Azad Hind Fauj in the Battle of Moirang? The correct answer, should be Colonel Shaukat Ali Malik. C is the correct answer here. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, grandnephew, has petitioned Prime Minister to declare April 14 as Victory Day. On 14 April 1944, the Azad Hind Fauj captured Moirang in Manipur and half of Nagaland from the clutches of British Empire. It was a fierce battle, one of the most difficult ever faced by the British forces in India. As admitted by the British themselves, Colonel Shaukat Ali Malik of Azad Hind Fauj marched into Moirang along with his soldiers and hoisted the national flag on April 14, 1944. And this was the first victory of India against British imperialist forces. Which amongst the following is the largest country in Southeast Asia? The correct answer is Indonesia. India and Indonesia have emphasized the need for greater maritime cooperation in the Indo-Pacific. Indonesia is a country located off the coast of mainland Southeast Asia, Indian and Pacific Ocean. It is an archipelago that lies across the equator. Indonesia is the largest country in Southeast Asia. It has the maximum dimension from east to west of about 5,100 kilometers and extent from north to south of 1,800 kilometers. It shares a border with Malaysia in the northern part of Borneo and with Papua New Guinea in the center of New Guinea. The history of the Indian fertilizer industry dates back to 1906 when the first fertilizer factory was opened at Tamil Nadu. D is the correct answer. With the global prices surging and hardly any imports contracted since Russia's invasion of Ukraine, India is facing a tight supply position in fertilizers. The history of the Indian fertilizer industry dates back to 1906 when the first fertilizer factory was opened at Ranipet in Tamil Nadu. Since then, there have been major developments in terms of both the quantity and the types of fertilizers produced, the technology used and the feedstocks employed. The fertilizer industry in India is in the core sector and second to steel in terms of investment. Consider the following statements with respect to the Al-Aqsa Mosque. The mosque is the third holiest site in Islam. It is also referred to as the Temple Mount. We have to select the correct answer. Both are correct. C is the correct answer here. Clashes broke out early Friday between Israeli police and Palestinians at the Al-Aqsa Mosque. The mosque is the third holiest site in Islam. It is built on a hilltop that is most sacred site for Jews who refer to as the Temple Mount. It has been a major flashpoint for Israeli-Palestinian violence for decades. Look at the practice question for the next segment. Global Wind Report 2022 has recently been released by which of the following organization? International Wind Energy Association, UN Sustainable Development Solution Network, World Meteorological Organization, Global Wind Energy Council. So we have to select the correct answer. That's it for today. Tomorrow we shall meet again with another segment. Until then, stay updated. Thank you so much for watching.